Hello grade 8, how are you today? I'm Teacher Neil, your MAPE teacher. For today, we're going to discuss Arts Quarter 1 Module 1 Elements and Principle of Arts Crafts in Southeast Asia. After going through this module, you are expected to analyze the elements and principle of arts in the production of arts and the crafts inspired of the culture of Southeast Asia. Are you ready? Let's go! The elements of arts. Art, it is the product or process of deliberately arranging items in a way that influences and affects one or more of the senses, motion, and intellect. The elements of art are the building blocks used by artists to create a work of art. Elements of art, number 1, we have line, 2, shape, 3, form, number 4, value, texture, then color. The elements of arts, number 1, we have line, a mark that is made on a surface or outline, defined by a point moving in space. Can be 2 or 3-dimensional, scripted, implied, or abstract. 5 kinds of line. Number 1, we have horizontal line, lines that runs parallel to the ground. Number 2, we have vertical lines, lines that move up and down. Number 3, we have diagonal line, lines that slant. Number 4, we have curved line, lines that change direction gradually. The number 5, we have zigzag line, lines that are made by combining diagonal lines that change direction. They suggest action and excitement. Next elements, we have shape. It has always 2 dimensions, length as well as width. It is represented as an enclosed area that is defined by color, value, space, texture, and form. When lines form together, they make flat shapes. Categories of shape, we have geometric shape, also called as regular shape. These are shapes that are easy to recognize and is used in information also. Organic shape, also called as free-form shape. These are shapes that seem to follow no rules, figures that have a natural look and a flowing, curving appearance. Next, we have positive shapes. It is the solid forms in its sign, occupy positive space. The positive space is masked by black. Next, we have negative shape. It is the space around the positive shape. The negative space is masked by black. Static shape, it appears stable and restive. Next, we have dynamic shape. It appears as if moving and active. Next elements, we have form. Form has always 3 dimensions, the length, width, and height. Types of form, we have cube, a regular solid of 6 equal square sides. Next, cylinder, a surface traced by a straight line moving parallel to a fixed straight line and interesting a fixed planar closed curve. Next, cone, a solid generated by rotating a right triangle about one of its legs. Sphere, a round solid figure or its surface with every point on its surface equidistant from its center. Next, we have value, refers to changes in the base color range of lightness and darkness within picture. We have categories of value. Number 1, we have tint, adding white to color paint to create lighter values such as light blue or pink. Next, shade, adding black to paint to create dark values such as dark blue or dark red. Next elements, we have texture. Texture, the quality of a surface or the way any work of art is represented, also refers to the way a picture is made to look rough or smooth. Categories of texture, we have real texture. Texture refers to the surface quality in a work of art. Implied texture is something like, looks like it should have texture but is actually flat with no texture. The next element, we have color. Color has 3 characteristics, which are hue, value, and intensity. Hue means the shades, red, yellow, pink. Value refers to the lightness or darkness. Intensity refers to the brightness or dullness of the work of art. Then we have classification of colors. Number 1, primary colors. red, yellow, and blue. Next, we have secondary colors. Mixture of primary colors. Blue plus yellow is equals to green. Next, tertiary colors. Mixture of one secondary and one primary color wheel. Space, it is the creation of visual perspective. This gives the illusion of depth. It can also mean the way an artist uses. Real space is actually three-dimensional. Positive space refers to the main focus of picture, while negative space refers to the background. Positive space and the negative space. Positive space is best described as the areas in work of art that are the subjects, or areas of interest, while negative space is area around the subject or areas. Principle of design. Number 1, we have balance. The distribution of visual weight on either side of the vertical axis. Symmetrical balance use the same characteristic. Symmetrical use different but equally weighted features. Next, contrast. The arrangement of opposite elements, light versus dark, dark versus smooth, small versus large, in a composition so as to create visual interest. Next, we have emphasis, used to make certain parts of an artwork stand out. It creates the center of interest or focal point. It is the place in which an artist draws your eye to rest. Next, movement, how the eye moves through the composition. Leading the attention of the viewer from one aspect of the work to another can create the illusion of action. Next, we have pattern, the repetition of specific visual elements such as a unit of shape or form, a method used to organize surfaces in a consistent, regular manner. Next, we have rhythm, regular repetition of alternation in elements to create cohesiveness and interest. Next, unity, visually placing agreement among the elements in a design. It is the feeling that everything in the work of art is together and looks like it fits. So these are the Southeast Asian arts and the Southeast Asian countries. So let's analyze the elements and principles of arts. Arts and crafts. In Indonesia, we have batik, wayang, paperweave. The elements of art apply shape, color, form. Principle of design applied, rhythm, emphasis, movement. Southeast Asian countries, Malaysia. Elements of art, modern batik and wawkai. Elements of arts applied, color, value, form, shape. Principle of design, pattern, emphasis, balance, and movement. Next, kain. Elements of arts, silk, fabric, loifatong, fine leather. Elements of arts applied, color, texture, shape, space. Principle of design applied, contrast, unity, movement. Cambodia. The arts and crafts we have Angkor Wat and Asian Temple. Elements of arts applied, form, shape. Then principle of design applied, balance, rhythm, and contrast. In Singapore, arts and crafts, we have Merlion. Elements of arts applied, shape and form. Principle of design applied, emphasis and balance. Now, for your activity, wrap up reflective question. Number 1, based on the lesson, what are the importance of knowing the elements of arts and principles of design to the Southeast Asian countries? Number 2, how do you apply the principle of design and elements of arts as a young learner in our new normal English? Valuing, our lesson tells about the different elements of arts and principles of design. How can you apply the knowledge you have learned in your daily lives, like in your decorating bedroom or buying clothes? Write your answer on the box or on a pad paper. Have a nice day. That's it. Stay safe and God bless.